Robert Pape is an international affairs specialist at the University of Chicago. I asked for his take on how 9/11 changed the international landscape.
9/11 fundamentally changed the American role in the world by putting American armies into the Middle East in very massive numbers, with the purpose of fundamentally transforming not just the government in a narrow sense, but the entire culture of the countries in the region. This was a major shift in America's policy. America, the world's sole superpower at the time, doing this caused major reverberations in the Middle East and then, therefore, the rest of the world.
And of course, it heralded the beginning of the US-led war on terror. How did that transform the security situation worldwide?
Much of the war on terror started out for the first 10 years making matters worse. So in Afghanistan, for the first few months when America used mostly air power and support for the Northern Alliance, we were able to do some good in getting rid of the bases, Al-Qaeda's bases in Afghanistan. But the fact of the matter is that short-lived success was followed up by years and years of increasing overreaction, arrogance to think that we could remake these complex societies at the point of the barrel of a gun. And what that did is produce more terrorists than it killed. So we ended up in the case of Iraq, when we invaded Iraq in 2003, there were maybe a couple hundred terrorists scattered in northern Iraq, but they weren't well organized, and it's not even clear how many there were. After a year after our invasion of Iraq, that number was 5,000. And they formed into Al-Qaeda in Iraq. They started forming into an integrated organization. A year after that, the number increased to 20,000. 2007, the best estimates we have, it was somewhere around 80,000. I could go through similar numbers in Afghanistan as well. So the first 10 years of the war on terror made us less safe by creating hornets' nests of terrorists where there had been a few wasps before.
And what challenges did the war on terror present for America's relationship with its allies, such as the EU?
The American war on terror created tremendous fissures here. So it's not a complete uniform picture. So right immediately after 9/11, many European countries wanted to come and help the United States. However, as things evolved, especially with the Iraq war, we started to have separation here where France, Germany in particular, wanted to not just create distance, but see if they could really slow it down because of the fear that it would create more terrorists than it would actually stop. And now we've seen then there's ebbing and flowing of the relationships here between the United States and Europe with respect to Afghanistan and Iraq. And now, unfortunately, in the last month and a half, with this catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan, not just messy, but unilateral, without real coordination with America's European allies. This is just hearkening back to the days of the Bush administration, virtually unilaterally launching the war in Iraq.